I'm 79 years old, and the person who knew me the longest in this world has been gone for 3 years now. Some mornings I still reach for the phone before I remember there's no one left on the other end who remembers me at 22. I'm not telling this because I want sympathy. I'm telling it because the years ahead of me are few, and the years behind me keep getting louder. When you reach this age, time doesn't feel wide anymore. It feels narrow, like a hallway that keeps shrinking. You start choosing which memories to sit with because you don't have the strength to carry them all. This one follows me, whether I invite it or not. Her name was Margaret. Everyone called her Maggie. We met when we were 29, standing in line at a bakery that smelled like yeast and sugar. She complained about the heat. I laughed. That was it. That was the beginning of 50 years. We didn't know then that we were choosing each other for a lifetime. It didn't feel like a big moment. It felt ordinary. Most important things do. We became close the way women do when they're building lives at the same time. We were both newly married, both tired, both trying to look like we knew what we were doing. She had a louder laugh than mine, a sharper tongue. She said things I only thought. I admired that about her. We talked every day back then, sometimes twice, about groceries, husbands, work, money, about nothing, about everything. When my first child was born, she was the one who came over and washed dishes without asking. When her marriage started to crack, she sat on my kitchen floor and cried while my baby slept in the other room. There was no scoreboard, no keeping track. We just showed up. Life, as it does, kept adding weight. Jobs became heavier. Children grew. Responsibilities stacked up. Conversations got shorter. Calls got pushed to tomorrow. Tomorrow felt reliable back then. I took a promotion in my late 30s. It meant longer hours, commute traffic, a sense that I was finally doing something right with my life. Maggie congratulated me. She meant it. I could hear it in her voice. But our calls shifted from daily to weekly, then every other week. Not because anything was wrong, because everything else felt urgent. We still saw each other at birthdays, holidays, quick lunches squeezed between errands. We always said the same thing when we parted. We'll talk properly soon. Soon became a soft word, comfortable, dangerous. In my 40s, my world narrowed around obligation. Aging parents, teenagers who needed rides and patience I didn't always have. A husband who expected dinner and quiet evenings. Maggie noticed before I did. She would say gently, "I miss you." I'd answer honestly, "I miss you too." And then I'd check my watch. There was always something next. She never accused. That was her way. She let the distance happen without naming it. That makes the regret heavier now. In our 50s, we started losing people. First parents, then acquaintances, someone's husband, someone's sister. Each loss shook us for a while. We call more often, meet for long walks, promise ourselves not to drift again. But once the shock passed, the old habits returned. Work, family, tiredness. I told myself we were solid. 50 years builds a kind of confidence. You assume it can withstand neglect? I thought history could substitute for presence. I was wrong. The real damage wasn't a fight. It wasn't betrayal. It was delay. Missed calls I meant to return. Invitations I postponed. Messages left unread until the moment passed. She retired before I did. Suddenly she had time. I didn't. She would call in the afternoon. I'd silence the phone and tell myself I'd call back that evening. Evening came with dishes and fatigue. Tomorrow felt easier. When I finally retired at 67, I told her we would make up for lost time. Trips, long lunches, proper conversations. She laughed and said she was holding me to it. We planned a weekend away that never happened. The dates kept shifting. A grandchild's recital, a doctor's appointment, minor things. Then one afternoon, my phone rang. And it wasn't her voice, it was her daughter. I knew before she finished the sentence. Your body learns these things before your mind catches up. Maggie had been sick for a while. She didn't want to worry anyone. She thought she had more time. So did I. By the time I sat at her bedside, she was smaller than I remembered, quieter. Her eyes lit up when she saw me. That was the worst part. She squeezed my hand and said, "There you are." Not accusing, not bitter, just relieved. We talked about nothing important, weather, a television show she liked, a neighbor who annoyed her. We avoided the real conversation like polite strangers. I wanted to say I was sorry for being busy, for assuming, for waiting. The words stayed in my chest. I told myself there would be another visit, another chance to say it properly. She died 2 days later. There is a particular kind of pain that comes from unfinished sentences. It's quiet. It doesn't scream. It sits. At the funeral, people spoke about her generosity, her humor, how she made everyone feel seen. I stood there realizing she had given me that gift for 50 years and I had returned it in fragments. Afterward, people went back to their lives. As they should, I went home to a house that felt larger than before. Grief changes shape as you age. It doesn't explode. It settles. It becomes part of the furniture. I still think of things I want to tell her. Small things. A recipe she would like. A memory I just recalled. There is no one else who shares that history with me. Not fully. That's what people don't tell you about losing someone who knew you your whole life. You don't just lose them. You lose a version of yourself. I don't beat myself up every day. I don't believe in that. I did what made sense at the time. But some nights, when the house is quiet and my body reminds me I don't have decades left, I wish I had chosen differently in small ways. Not grand gestures, not dramatic apologies, just more presence, more returned calls, more sitting without an agenda, more treating later like the fragile thing it is. If you're listening to this and thinking of someone who has known you for a long time, I hope you hear this gently. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm telling you what it feels like when the chance closes. You don't realize the last ordinary conversation is the last. It doesn't announce itself. It sounds like every other call you almost made. Now, when people talk about success or full lives, I listen quietly. I've had a good life. I won't deny that. But the measure that matters most to me now isn't what I built. It's who I kept close. And I let one of the closest drift too far. I still talk to her sometimes, out loud, in the car, in the kitchen. I tell her about the garden, about mutual friends, about how much quieter everything feels. I don't expect answers. At this age, acceptance doesn't feel peaceful. It feels honest. I accept that I can't fix this, that no amount of remembering will reopen that door. What remains is the weight of knowing how easily time slipped through my hands while I was busy holding other things. If this meant something to you, if it stirred a name in your mind, I hope you hold that thought for a moment longer than you planned. As for me, I carry Maggie with me into whatever time I have left, not loudly, not dramatically, just faithfully, like she always did for me.